Thank you. So there is a mantra which says, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Every one of us, let every one of us become complete in ourselves. So yoga talks about the life as a river which flows from one end to another end, which is Janm and Mrityu, which is the birth and death. Between the two banks of the river, one bank is called as Jara, which is aging. Another bank is called as Vyadhi, which is the sufferings or diseases. Now, the important part is that this river is in pursuit of its own completeness while it is streaming through these two banks. The yoga is a science which helps you not only to create a balance between two banks of aging and suffering, but also to help you achieve your own completeness. Shirish, am very happy to be here in this auspicious gathering. We are consciously together, we are coming up with an effort to bring a much more positivity and quality-oriented well-being through our yogic and Ayurvedic approaches and the Indian approaches. And in that pursuit, we have an initiative called Yogakara. And Yogakara means like a Chitrakar who sculpts a painting through the colors. The Yogakar sculpts the well-being, and it sculpts its own inner well-being through yoga. And yoga is basically a science where all the micro and macro elements of life are taken together as one entity, where you are not fighting with the nature, you are not winning over the nature, rather you are becoming the nature. And in this process of becoming the nature, you practice different forms of yoga. So for many of us, we associate yoga as a physical form like asanas. And for many of us, we practice yoga as a mental form like meditation or the breath works like pranayamas and so on and so forth. So I'm happy to see, we are all happy to see that yoga has grown horizontally all across in different sections and domains. However, now there is a need for yoga to grow vertically in each section. That means being more deeper in those asanas which we have practiced, in those pranayamas, in those meditations which we have, and to directly associate it with the life.
You said the recordings or something, or the
which we'll
recording.
be pertaining it with.
You said
And for that, what is important is to be scientific in the approach. What has happened today is that we learn yoga from different sources, and then we start practicing that in a very generic form. What is important is to see that how yoga practices can be hyper-personalized in your life. What is important in your way of creating harmony between different parts of your well-being, the physical, mental, emotional, psychic, behavioral, and so on and so forth. So Yoga deals in making a scientific approach of well-being by asking you to go through a self-evaluation called Ankar. This is a questionnaire-based, research-oriented exploration of your inner self, where you ask 60 questions from yourself, and each 60 questions becomes a different marker to different health marker within you.
Our conversation was on the conference.
You design a specific kind of practices which are hyper-personalized, deeper yogic practices for you. So there is a program called Aranya, which is the program in which you are going to the nature, and in that nature, you're interacting with earth, water, air, fire, space in a specific manner with a meditative approach, with a yoga research-oriented approach, and with a practical meditative lifestyle approach. And there you are living in that forest for 5 days, and you are seeing how the health marker improves in you. I have myself being the graduate from the Masters in Applied Yogic Science under the International Yoga Research Fellowship Movement of Bihar School of Yoga. And we are very conscious in creating a very objective-driven scientific approach towards whatever we used to practice in here. So one of the things which I would like you to just simply experience is a sense of your inner space in you. So what you can just simply do is that inhale deeply, and with exhalation, when you exhale, create a humming sound and try to feel the hum or the vibration of that humming sound on the right side of your skull, and then on the back of your skull, and then on the left side of your skull, and in the front of the skull. When you do so, try to create an awareness that this is like a space where you are creating that humming sound. Traditionally, this is called as Bhramari Pranayama or humming bee meditation. But when you are doing it with this awareness, it creates a complete change in the encephalographic environment within you. So these are the small kind of practices called charyas or rituals which we used to incorporate in the hyper-personalized yoga program. So now there's a need where you're not taking yoga as a physical form of yoga or breathing aspects. There's a need where very systematically you're creating a routine for yourself where physically, mentally, emotionally, behaviorally, you are transforming yourself. And as our Sadhguruji has specially said, that yoga is all about creating a balance and harmony with the nature. And how does this happen? How you create health is by following through a specific kind of a discipline in your life. And yoga does not begin with the asanas, it begins with yamas and niyamas, where you are disciplining your actions to create a harmony in your social life, which is called as yamas. And then you are disciplining yourself in your personal life, which is called as niyamas. So in a very specific structured format, we help you to create these two disciplines across your daily routines in such a manner, which yoga says, Dirghkal Narantra Satkar Sevito Brahmabhumi. That means you take a small action, a very small action. It can be just 15 minutes of yoga practice in the morning, 15 minutes of yoga practice in the evening, and then you take it for a longer duration of time, Dirghkala, so that it becomes organically ingrained in you, which creates a organic structure and a harmony in your physical, metabolic, and psychic aspect of yourself. And then Satkar Sevito Brahmabhumi. That means then after creating a perfection and maturity in that particular practice, you go beyond than that. So now it is a need where you take all those practices in much more deeper format of that, where your pranayamas, how your breathing pattern not only strengthens your heart and lungs, but it also strengthens the kind of pranas which Ayurveda talks about, the pranas, apanas, udanas, vyanas, and udanas. So all these 5 pranas can be specifically strengthened and streamlined with a sequence of practices. So it's like learning alphabets from A to Z, which we have already learned, different aspects of yoga and routine culture. But now the need is there how to create the words which are significant to your personal life, creating a mental evolution, creating a de-straining of yourself through those practices. I would welcome you. We have a platform called Yoga Tarak, where you can experience these deep sessions of yoga through our retreats called Aranyas, where you can actually go to the Ladakh forest, Rishikesh forest here as well, and you experience the complete totality of your life. There is a sleep management program called Sushupti, where you can actually use those vrittis which yoga and Ayurveda talks about, the fluctuations in the mind and the encephalographic environment in the mind, where you can take the sleep in a much more fruitful and deeper manner. There's a mind management program called Vyom, where you can create a perfect synchronization of your anxieties, your perceptions, your cognition. And there's a program called Daksha, which is corporate wellness program, where you can actually create a synchronization of your work-related and the personal-related life in a much more better manner. At the end, I'll just say a very important sutra of yoga, which says, Sahana Vavatu. That means let me and the universe around me work together to create protection for me and the universe. Sahana Bhunattu. Let me and the universe around me together nourish each other. Sahaviryam Karvavahe. That means let me and the universe around me do the courageous actions together. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Let me and the universe around me together create a glory and brilliance for each other. Ma vidvishavahe. Let me and the universe around me should not create any conflict in my life and in life of the universe. This is what the yoga is all about. And let us together create this integral part of yoga in which the National Health Services can be also contributed from a yogic perspective to create preventive health, to create an integrative and holistic approach of yoga. Thank you so much. Namaste. And thank you.